Oh, we can go early.
Welcome to the porch. Pull up a chair, sit back, relax, enjoy the show. Now here's your host, Michelle Barras and Brian Swanson.
Well, good morning.
Howdy ho, neighbor.
Or afternoon, or good evening.
Or whatever it is, whatever time you're watching this. If you're watching live, it's morning here.
Okay.
Unless you're on the East Coast. So, anyhow, how's everybody doing today? Great. I knew you were alive and well and excited to be here.
Hi.
Hi.
Welcome to Denim and Pearls. My name is Michelle Barras.
And I'm Brian Swanson.
We are business casual
With pearls of wisdom
from the porch.
So we have all kinds of fun things to talk about, but let's get our sponsors out of there.
Yes.
And give them something to talk about. Yeah,
Let's give them something to talk about. Okay. If you're looking for someone to help create your swag, you want to talk to a2promos.com. That's a2promos.com for any embroidery work you'd like to have, t-shirts, hats, jackets, bags, whatever it can be. Ink182.com for your brain needs. If you're having problems sleeping, anything related to your brain, go to harmonizedbraincenters.com. And if you're an outdoorsy person who wants to go outside and run or whatever you want to do outside, go to lymevents.com, lymevents.com. If you're interested in being a sponsor with Denim and Pearls, please go to denimandpearlspodcast@gmail.com.
Well, that was quick, simple, and out of the way. Anyhow, we're going to talk about turning back time today. That is our concept, really. I mean, sometimes we wish we could turn back time. Sometimes we wish we could, but regret the fact that if we did, we screw things up or whatever.
Mess up the time continuum.
Right. To mess up the time continuum.
The space continuum, yeah.
So lots of things to talk about when it comes to talk about turning back time. So I guess the first thing is, who has that need or that desire to turn back time? Why would you want to even do it?
Well, a lot of times you do something, and after you've said it or done whatever that was, I wish I didn't do that. But there's no way to take it back. And then you look back and you're coming back in your years. You keep going in your years, and you look back again to what would have happened if I did it differently.
Well, I don't think we'll ever know. I mean, I think we talked about this way back before in one of our other episodes, but what have you ever thought about what would it have been like with that boyfriend or girlfriend if life would have went through with them?
We did talk about that, didn't we?
Yeah. What would life be like? Would it be the same? I mean, we can look at the fact that our lives turned out a certain way. We can look at the fact that our boyfriend, girlfriend, their lives turned out a certain way. But I don't think we can ever guess what it would be like if we would have been together.
No.
Yeah, it's just totally impossible. And you wonder about, well, if I would have influenced this and I would have done that, her life wouldn't be the same as it is now, or his life wouldn't be the same as it is now.
Well, I'm laughing because there's a joke about that where a husband comes, really rich man, he's really, really rich. His wife comes home and she's carrying her Gucci bags or whatever fancy bag she's carrying. And he says, "Aren't you glad you married me?" Did you hear that one? Aren't you glad he says, "Aren't you glad you're with me because I'm so successful?" He says, "You could be married to that guy right there who's, cleaning out the garbage cans." And she said, "No, I'd still be married to that successful man." And he said, "What?" She says, "Because if I married him, he'd be where you are. You'd be where he is." And it was like, oh.
Wow.
Oh.
Well, there's things like that too, but I was waiting on the punchline as far as, because if you ever listen to the background, garbage guys make a lot of money.
They make a lot of money. No,
I'm
not putting down garbage, but it was some one of those Gold Coast videos.
Okay.
And it was one of those, he's all cocky and she says, no, he would be the one that would, because we also talk about who you surround yourself with. Mm-hmm. If your partner is constantly doing, "You're terrible, go away. You're terrible, go away. Go ahead, go do this, but you're terrible. You're never going to succeed." Mm-hmm. You will never succeed. And so really that's what the point of that is it's the people around you that change what happens to you. If you have people who believe in you, you will move further to what you want. If you have people who are anchors on you, you're not going to. And so back to if I could turn back time, have you ever thought about, Helene says she does. She wants her youth.
I think we all want our youth.
So I don't want to turn back time, but I would love the youth.
I would turn back time to a certain point in life, but how far is the question? And I guess I was thinking about this on my way over here to have this conversation. And I'm thinking, what would I have not done? Let's see. I wouldn't have had mom make me watch The Love Boat or Fantasy Island.
You would waste going back in time to stop watching TV. Why don't you just eliminate the whole, I wouldn't watch TV. I would read books instead. I don't know.
I'd read books instead. Write my first book. And by now I'd have 14 of them under my belt. Or
well, like last night,
yeah,
I had this young man on my Mental Shift internet TV show out of the Philippines. And in Mental Shift, he was 16 when he wrote his first book, 18 when he wrote his second book. He is now 19.
Wow.
So don't let anything like age stop you from doing something that you want to do. And if there's something you wanted to do, and that's why you wanted to turn back time and go back to a younger age in order to accomplish it, do it now. Start the planning, do it now, and make steps now.
Well, I think another part of that question is too, okay, we turn back time, but do we take our knowledge with us?
If we kept the knowledge, I'd be a dangerous human.
We'd all be dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if I kept my knowledge now, I would know that I don't do this, or I don't do that, or maybe I need to do this that I should have done. Okay. I mean, could I have read more books? Could I have learned more things? Could I have been more detailed in the information that I did receive and put into my head?
Could I bet on all the games I knew were going to win?
Well, now we're talking about Back to the Future.
Sorry, I got distracted. Okay, so for those of you who are just now tuning in, our topic is, if I could turn back time.
You just had to get that in there, didn't you?
I did. I had to, because Helene's here. She was here.
Oh. I just seen her post purple root beer. Interesting concept. Anyway.
Helene has a lot of purple things she's looking for.
Yeah, we love purple. Royalty. Purple stands for royalty in a lot of cases. Do you know why that is, actually?
And rain.
And rain, yes, of course. But do you know why purple stands for royalty?
Blue blood. I don't know.
Because back in the day, purple was a hard color to
create.
come by and create.
Only rich people
So
can make it.
only the kings and the queens and those kind of folks could actually order, or not order in, I guess. It's like, okay, Amazon, I need...
Can you bring the chariot to bring me some purple? No, but really, in order to make purple, they needed, it was a really rare fruit that they were using. But the other way I think of purple being royalty is, blue bloods, and blood is red. You mix blue blood with red to get purple. Blue and red make purple. Is that too complicated?
That's really because when you say Blue Bloods, all I think about is the TV show.
Oh, I don't watch TV, so no idea.
I think it's a Tom Selleck thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, but yeah, turning back time can be, I think it's more of a fantasy.
Oh, yeah.
And a wish, but sometimes those wishes, what if you just started now?
That's what my thing is. Do it now.
I mean, if you think about it, you'd say, okay, I would turn back time so that I can go back and read more books.
Well, think about this.
Well, guess what? You can start working now.
Think about in the work business, the work side.
Uh-huh.
If you could turn back time, what would you do with your business? What would you accomplish with your business? Well,
I think it's the same thing.
Do it now. So like you say, I wish I had a better accounting system. Well, then fix it. Fix it now.
Wish I had an accountant.
I am wearing purple today. Yes, it is. It's a dark, dark purple.
Looked navy blue to me.
He thought it was blue, but it is. It's got purple hues.
Oh, okay.
You got to be a woman to see that, I guess. Okay, go on.
Are we talking about eyesight here? I mean, I don't know
if I could turn back time.
So let's start with the fact that what would be one of the things that you would do, Michelle, that you would change? Let's say
out of my past.
Yeah, out of your. Would you not? That
I know.
We talked about regrets before,
no,
but we don't want to talk about regrets.
Not regretting. I know what I would change. I would not have gone to college for engineering.
Okay.
Because I wasted a lot of money in engineering. It wasn't my forte. Yes, I could do it, but it wasn't my passion. I did it because that's what my brothers did. My idol did,
Mm-hmm.
And so I went into engineering because I could do it. What I didn't realize, and I realize now in my older years, is that it wasn't about doing it because I could. I should have went into college for the things I loved. And that was polar opposite of engineering. So that's what I would have changed. I would have changed and got my degree in something I was passionate about. School would have been a hell of a lot more fun for me, and I would have gotten more out of it. Instead, I struggled and dug and studied for 18 hours, it felt like, to answer one question, one equation. And my roommates were like, "Oh, I made a poster board today. Well, that's my project for the week." And I'm like, "What? No, I'm suffering here." So yes, I would have changed my major because I would have went for a degree that would have just been something I would have enjoyed. And in that case, back then it would have been psychology and anything that deals with speaking.
Well, I think you hit a couple things on there. Okay, first of all, all that money we spent in college, a lot of us, we put money towards college, and whether it was student loans or whatever, we can go back and say, I wish I wouldn't have, because I didn't get my degree where I wanted to. But another thing that you hit on there at the very beginning of it, and I don't know if you caught it or not, I did, is doing something that somebody else does or somebody else wants you to do. So if you look at the fact that a lot of, dads worked in the factory, or they owned a bait and tackle shop, or mom owned a restaurant, or whatever, I'm just pulling out examples. We have a tendency to follow in our footsteps of our parents, or an aunt or an uncle or something like that, because we're familiar with it. It's a comfortable situation. But sometimes we look back and go and turn back time. We go, oh, I wish I wouldn't have taken over the family business, because now I'm stuck in this small town or this town, and I'm in the same building, in the same house. I wish I would have traveled. I wish I would have done. There's a lot of wishes.
Yeah, because that, with my turn back time example, it was more of, I wish I was me more than trying to please other people. That would be my only thing.
Right, but I don't think we can decide who we are until we've had our experiences.
I do see the double-edged sword there.
Yeah, there's a lot of these things.
But that was the thing is I did something out of my comfort zone, which I love to do, but I did it for too long before I realized it was not the place for me. Oh,
Nicholas isn't sticking around. His connection's going up and down, up and down.
And then Nathan says, that's my life every year. Hours of study to get one answer. The correct loans.
The correct
loans? I don't understand.
I don't understand the loans unless he means that he's borrowing the knowledge. That could be an interesting topic too. Yeah. Somebody's got to smile more. He's probably talking about me.
No,
anyway.
Maybe he wished that if he went back in time, he would smile more.
Maybe that could be it. Maybe he should have smiled more. Anyway, but
turn back time.
Turning back time. I mean, we can always make those wishes and those demands of the universe, and we hope we could do it. But there's always that price to pay, which is another thing that I always talk to the kids about. Is if you do one thing, there's consequences.
Do anything, there's consequences.
Right. There's plenty of consequences on everything. So if we were to turn back time, yeah, it would be great if we could take the knowledge. It makes better movie. And, it's kind of one of those things what Dad used to say, you could wish in one hand and in the other and see which one fills up faster. I mean,
Nathan, sorry, but it's the title of our topic is If I Could Turn Back Time. So sorry, you're stuck with that song now.
Yeah, he's going to have to listen to Cher all day long.
So if he could turn back time, he'd have us change the name of this topic today.
Right.
So anyways, as we said before, you can turn back. If you could turn back time, what would you change? Would you change it because you regret what you've got now? Well, then here's your thing. Today is always your new day. Start today with whatever you wished you did before. If it was in a relationship, just don't repeat that mistake you did before in your new relationships. So you don't really need to turn back time. You just make the choices that you wish you made before. Make those choices today in your everyday life and in your business.
Well, sometimes too, we look back, not even looking back, but we look at other people, and you've heard that statement, they carry a black cloud above their head. Okay. Why is that? I mean, because I think that's because of the way they've set their standards in life. I think that's the way things happen. But there's people out there that they try the best to be the person that they can be. They give back. They do all of this. But for some reason, something happens that whether the tax man comes after them or the next thing you know, it's bad health or something like that. There's that black cloud that everywhere they move, there's always something that happens. I don't know how you fix that. I don't know if that's an attitude thing. Sometimes it is, but there's some people in life. I mean, I can think of a guy way back in my time that he was the greatest, kindest guy you could think of. But every time you turned around, his ex-wife was doing this to him. The kids were doing this to him. The government was doing this to him. I mean, it was always constantly happening.
But you have to remember when it comes to things like that is there's a law of attraction out there. Even if you don't believe it, read up on it. There's a law of attraction. What you focus on is what comes to you. What you bring, was it where your mind goes, your body flows, or something like that? But basically, I don't remember. But basically, what you concentrate on is what you get. If you concentrate on, I'm going to lose again, or this bad, I'm going to be the last one picked, or if anyone's going to get audited, it's going to be me. You say those things out loud, you will get them. And that's why we're such happy people, because we like to focus on what's good in our lives. So instead of saying, I didn't get picked, it's great. I didn't get picked. It's okay. I mean, so you just ever so slightly change it.
When I was a kid in school, in elementary school, I was the guy that always got picked last.
Did you say it?
Huh?
Did you say, I'm going to be picked last?
Oh, no, I liked it.
Oh.
Because it always ended up on the girls' team.
Oh.
So in kickball, I always ended up on the girls' team because I was the last one picked. The guys didn't want me. And the girls, of course, there's fewer girls than there are guys. So I ended up on the girls' team. I wasn't hurt. What?
Okay.
Well, it's fun and exciting that way. That's just the way that things are. And this is elementary school we're talking about. We're not talking about high school.
That's funny. Well, anyways.
Anyhow, I do have a story after the break.
Yes.
And that story actually happened we've been in this now 15 minutes, probably 20 minutes ago. So see you in a minute.
Thank you for joining us on The Porch. We share the nuances and lessons we've garnered from throughout our combined 40 years of life experiences. Talk from the Porch is always serious, but full of laughter, and we're glad you're here with us. Like, share with a friend, and please subscribe to our Facebook page and our YouTube channel. And remember, join the conversation every Friday at noon Mountain Time. We'll see you on the porch.
Okay, I see some things from Nathan. I don't know what RAS is. It's not rest in peace, so I don't know what RAS is.
I don't know.
Something about we're happy because of the fact we're in Colorado and it was legal here. I don't know where that comes from.
What's an RAS?
RAS, R period, A period. It's an acronym for something. Anyhow, welcome back to Denim and Pearls, where we are business casual.
With pearls of wisdom.
From the porch.
Yes.
But we don't know what the heck everybody talks about. Anyway, real quick draw on our sponsors, if I can find the stuff for it. Here it is.
A2promos.com for any of your swag needs, ink182.com for any of your embroidery needs, harmonizedbraincenters.com for any of your brain needs, and Lime Events, LYMevents.com for any of your outdoor sporting needs that you would like to go participate in. If you're interested in being a sponsor with Denim and Pearls, please go to denimandpearlspodcast@gmail.com. That's denimandpearlspodcast@gmail. And ask us about sponsorship opportunities, because we're also looking for sponsors for our live event on July 17th.
I forgot about that.
Yes, July 17th. We're still looking for sponsors, and we need more people to come out because that's a big dessert bar. So let us know.
Get your chocolate fix that day if nobody shows up, huh?
Yeah, so please let us know if you're interested. Write us on denimandpearlspodcast@gmail.com and say, I'm interested in sponsoring the show and the live event.
You just want to see us on live. That's what it is.
Yeah. And they come see us.
Right. So if you like what we do, like, share, and do all those other fun things over on social media. Check us out on YouTube, Facebook, Rumble.
All your favorite podcast platforms.
Yes, all your podcast needs.
Okay.
All right. Awesome.
Now we're back to if you can turn back time.
If you could turn back time, I would never grow old. I think that's what Helena was trying to get at. Helena was trying to get at.
Helena wants, yeah.
Helene. She'd keep her youth. I wish we could keep our youth.
Well, you can kind of keep your youth. I mean, to a point. I mean, I kind of reverted back into most of my youth.
Right.
Just dropping weight and getting healthier. Granted, my hip is out of place right now, so that's why this glazed look is in my eyes, because my hip is not liking me right now.
Yeah, well, if you lose weight, you're not supposed to lose it on just one side. You're not supposed to throw your balance off.
You're so goofy. Oh
so anyhow, I was talking right before the break. I was thinking about talking about this experience that I just had right before I got here. I was talking to the owner of a store, and I've talked to him before, but we're just kind of acquaintances. I walk into the store and I walk out, but we have a couple conversations here and there. And today it must have been on his mind, and he must have, whatever it is. Anyhow, he asked me why I was in such a hurry. And I said, well, I've got to go do a podcast. Well, what do you do? Well, Denim and Pearls, business casual, this kind of things. And I said, our topic is about turning back time. And he stops me and he's like, this is the one thing that I've been thinking lately. He says, I went through COVID. They put me on a respirator for like 2 months or something. I forget what, 2 weeks, 2 months, something like that. And he said, all I could think of at the time, he says, because my bank account was sitting at about $1 million when I went in. After, while I was in there, it never went down and kept creeping up. And he says, that's good from a business standpoint because I'm constantly making money, even though I was on a respirator and I can't do anything. So that's what I'm thinking he's going to. But he's like, no, that's not what I was thinking. He says, I sat there with that respirator on, and all I could think of is the money doesn't matter. If I could turn back time and do some of those things, I'd have spent more time with my kids. I would have spent more time with my family. I would have done things that mattered most to me. And he says, money's nothing. He says, just because I have $1 million in my bank account, when I'm sitting on a respirator, I can't even buy an Advil.
Yeah, well, I've talked about that before. On my almost deathbed, my last thought was not, I wonder what my ROI is. My last thought was, do people know I love them? That was my worst fear. Do they know I care?
Right. Yeah. And those are those things that we think about. So sometimes it's a tragic incident that takes us back to what I would really wish for. Because I don't think there's anything wrong with us sitting here wondering what would we do or what would our lives be like if we did turn back time. But I keep saying it, Nathan. But there's those incidents or those experiences that really sits back and says, no, the rest of this doesn't really matter. This would have been more important. And that was what he was telling me there. He says, I don't care if I make $1 million anymore. He says, the money's nothing. I like my business. I like having the money, but he says, it doesn't mean anything anymore when I think about my family and stuff like that. And he says, then my family comes to me and says, well, I want to do this. He says, before I had the experience, he said, I would have told him no. I would have made judgment calls. He says, but now I'm like, if you're free to do something, do it. Make your choice. Do it. It's not my decision. I have no control over your life.
I'm going to segue into something else.
Okay.
I always talk about finding your passion, live in it. Go find it and go do it. And Brian is working with a venue that has a live band called Vehicle. Okay. And the owner,
should we plug them?
The 3035 Club.
Yeah, the 3035.
It's out here in Colorado Springs on Northampton, and 3035 is the address.
North Hancock.
Hancock, sorry.
Hamptons is, that's over on the East Coast somewhere.
Okay, North Hancock. 3035 North Hancock, Colorado Springs. Well, anyways, the owner heard me singing karaoke, and he invited me to be a singer in the band. And I said, I'm sorry, I'd love to. I mean, I love singing, but I don't have time. And then I sat back and realized it's not about time. It's what I care about. What lights my fire? What will help me be better at the things I already do?
Right.
Singing would do it. So I told him, I'll join the band. I mean, part of me is like, I should do that. I should be the practical. But no, I learned that the hard way last time. I kept so practical, I didn't do what I enjoyed. So this time I allowed this part of my life to come open through the music so that I can be able to feed that passion in me so I can do better in all my speaking and coaching and everything else. Remember, just because you have a regret from the past doesn't mean you can't start it in the present.
That's so powerful. I think we should just end there.
Okay.
It really is. I'm not laughing at it. I'm laughing at the situation, but it's really that powerful. Make a choice in your life and do it. Sometimes, but you got to know every time that you got to pay the consequences.
Well, that's why it's important to know your goals and understand the why, your why. What do you want? What do you do? And why do you do it? When you have those two aligned and you start making judgment calls on things that are coming your way, does it align with what my goal and what my why is? Does it align? If it does, then go ahead. If it's completely polar opposite, maybe you shouldn't do that.
Well, I'm looking over here at what he said. What RAS is, reticular activating system.
What's a reticular activating system?
Now we got that question. What the heck is that? I didn't know if it had something to do with our eyes. We weren't paying attention to the camera or what it was in particular, you know.
I don't know.
I have no idea.
I think you can't be giving us things like that without giving a definition. So
Yeah,
might as well put on the definition. And it's Helene.
It's Helene. Okay. I see that. She says I need to learn her name.
Say her name. Say her name.
I've never met her, so I can only do what I can read.
I've never met her either.
But there's no A on the end, so Helena would not work.
No, it's Helene.
Some people would call it Helene.
I said Helene.
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Anyway,
Okay.
So turning back time, we talk about the consequences. We do this, but you know what? It's fun to fantasize.
It is, but fantasize and keep moving. Fantasize, see the situation, learn from it, and then bring the lesson with you now and start again.
Right.
Done.
Easy peasy. It's all over.
Okay, we're done.
So I got 10 minutes left.
Oh, we have 10 minutes left. Hello, my
At
baby.
least.
Hello, my. We'll just tap dance. No.
You wanted me to sing and I can't sing. Now you want me to tap dance because I can't dance? I know it's getting out of my comfort zone and all, but sometimes, you know, some people should not be seen dancing.
Okay.
Or heard singing.
Well, my bottom line with all of this, we didn't do our little cards.
Oh,
my
we can
bottom
do that.
line with things is go do if you're regretting not addressing your passion or whatever it was in the past, do it today. Start the steps today. Today is always a new day.
Yep. All right.
Always.
Ooh.
You answer your own question.
Oh, I'm going to answer. Oh, phooey. This was better for you to answer.
Okay, I'll answer that one. You ask it.
No, okay, whatever. Which what are we going to do?
You read that. I'll answer it.
Okay, so if you've been with us before, you know that Michelle found these nice little cards that are like icebreakers for the family when you're sitting down at a meal in a restaurant. And I don't remember which restaurant it was, but they're icebreaker topics and questions that you can ask your family or whoever you're with. So the question here is, when did you have to be brave and do something difficult?
We answered this one before.
Did we?
Yeah.
Oh. So what did you say? I don't remember. We'll throw that one away.
Well, no, because we did that one too. Mine was too.
Oh, so you need to pick somewhere out of the other part of the deck. What's your favorite family tradition? You know what? I think this is an interesting question too, because if we could turn back time, this fits really well. Back in the day, we used to go out and bring the entire family from around the country. We had a big picnic, and we called them family reunions. I don't know if many people do that anymore, but they seem to have gone by the wayside. I mean, because we keep communications through Instagram and Facebook and phones and whatever else. But the tradition of having a family reunion where you could actually know who your family was, even if they were second, third, fourth cousins kind of thing, you still built relationships because you were all together in the same thing, having fun. So I do miss that.
My family still has family reunions. The only time we didn't have one was during COVID.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. See, I'm not there. I know some people who still do, and they still travel. And
our family's huge.
You know, but I would say that's a family tradition that I really like that I'm not experienced with anymore.
I love it. And then my question is, would you rather make a scrapbook, keep a journal, or both? I journal, but I wouldn't scrapbook. I would add video. Part of the reason I started doing video, Facebook Lives, was I was saving video of just things I learned. I would share thoughts is basically what I was doing. And I wasn't doing it. I was doing it to chronicleize what was happening in our world and in my world especially. And so, yes, I journal, but I would use video notebooks. I mean, video, what's that word called? Where you track your life, but I'm doing it through video.
Blogs? Journals?
Yeah, I guess it's a blog. I guess you can call it a blog.
A video blog?
Yeah. So the reason I do that is because, you know, when you think back at your great-great-grandparents, you do, oh yeah, great-great-grandma said blah, blah, blah. But you don't hear her voice. You don't know what she looks like. You see a picture of her. It's black and white. And she's doing this.
Right.
You know? And so I wanted to do video so that people would know who I was, what I sounded like, what I looked like. And it's more of a family thing. I'd like the whole family to be doing it, but my family does not like cameras like I do.
Well, you know, I agree with all that, because even with my experience recently with my mom and everything else, but there's one thing that I actually thought was really, really interesting that came from my experience at home. When I was at home, I went through photographs, physical old-time photographs, black and whites, colors from 1974, 1934. I went through all of these things. the one thing that I think we have a problem with technology today, we can capture that stuff, but once we capture it, it becomes forgotten. Because I'm not going to sit down with my mom at this point. Well, not at all now, but anyhow, I'm not going to sit down with my mom at a computer and flip through pictures. These are my memories on digital format.
Well, and that's why I like video, because then you could have had her on there. And who's that? Well, that's Aunt Sally and Uncle Joe.
Right.
That was when they went to Yellowstone. And there's this connection where you hear the intonation of their voice or the things that were important to them, the things that video I find to be very, very powerful. So yes, I journal.
I think it is if it doesn't get lost.
Yeah.
Because it gets lost in that computer thing. It's all in this box right here in front of us. All of that digital memories might be there, it might be captured, but then you have to make sure that the kids or the grandkids they know where to click. They know where to find it. It's not like going to the closet and picking up a box of photographs.
So if you needed to turn back time, stop worrying about the past, turn it today. Turn your time today and be the best version of you every day.
You got serious on me?
Yeah. I'm not feeling very well.
Okay.
I'm fading.
Fading. Okay. So I guess that's when we turn around and do this number, right? So, okay. I think we covered it today.
Yes. So if you can turn back time, just learn the lesson, bring it into today, be the best version of you, and have no regrets. Live purposefully. Choose peace.
Peace.